Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we built up some debt, and we're now working on paying off that debt. And actually, it's going relatively quickly. More quickly than I kind of expected it to go. It's going pretty well on that front. We're currently paying 8.17k per week in interest, which is not great, but that means that our overall earnings right now are going to be close to, what, 25k? Once we're out of debt. That's not bad. Our base GDP, without constructing, we have one private construction ongoing, but without primary construction is right at about 10 million. We're just shy of 10 million. So that's looking good, all things considered. I do want to get our education up, and our education is actually rising. That's very, very good. I think this is actually going up mostly not due to our actions, but because we're incorporating states that have literacy. Maybe not. Those Italians, wow, look at that sharp contrast between the Holy Roman Empire and literally everyone else. That's right along their border. That's insane. They have no literacy in the HRE. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that, but it's very spicy. So we need to get a lot of transportation shortages dealt with, obviously. We've also got an artillery shortage. Construction right now, we've got queued up an artillery foundry. So the transportation shortages are not at all surprising. Paper is mildly expensive right now. I'm not that concerned about it. I do expect it to drop due to the subventions. We're at 25 right now, and we need it to go down below 20. Maybe a paper mill is necessary. If that's the case, then we would need to build one somewhere. We've got some expansion that we could do. Particularly in Abruzzo. I feel like we don't need to build one. I feel like what we need to do is we need to subsidize some of those. So let's actually go back into here and check our paper mills, sort by number. And specifically over here in Abruzzo, I'm going to subsidize this temporarily. And in Israeli Piedmont, I'm going to subsidize this one temporarily as well, until we get credit for this. So that should drop the price of paper in our market pretty substantially, all things considered. Assuming they're actually hiring in. 1K and 1.1K. So yes, they are hiring in. That looks good. So what's the price of paper looking like? If we go into here, we can see it's at 24% right now. We're on maximum subventions, and we're subsidizing 2 plants for this. That dropped it to 23. We gonna go to 22? Yes, we are. We just got to drop it another 3%. 21. $20. Okay, I believe we need to be below 20, not greater than 20. So theoretically, precisely equal to 20 would count, but in practice, that means that it needs to be below 20. Okay, what do we got? Religious schools? Come on, rabbis. No, we'll pass on that for now. So, at the moment, I don't really care about this. This is fine. So, on the next week tick, we expect the paper situation to be solved. Yes, there we go. We've got a foreign manifesto here, and do we care about the Jewish traditionalist movement? Not really. So there we go. Let's go into our paper mills now, and we're going to make sure that they are not subsidized at this moment. There we go. We're going to drop our subsidies there. We were not paying all that much for that, so that's good. We're up to 20K at this point in terms of our income, and we're definitely growing our income faster than we're shrinking our interest. That's a very good sign. We really like to see that. Pro-Ukraine lobby? I'm in. Comprised of the landowners. Sounds good. So we're going to go back to construction fairly soon. We see a motor industry building in Hejaz. Okay. The financial districts are interested in building a lot of motor industries. Fascinating. So I'd really like to see railways get finished. I'm doing this for now, but we're not going to exclusively focus on railways, to be clear. We're dipping negative in our convoys, so I want to grab a port here. I'm assuming we have one here, and we're going to subsidize that port. There we go. That should solve the convoy issue. Perfect. Yeah, having excess convoys isn't really that big of a deal, so we just don't want to have negative convoys. Sounds good. So I do think more government administrations do make a lot of sense. Taxation capacity isn't really an issue, although we might want to think about increasing our wages. Specifically, that would mean coming in here and boosting up our government wages. Perhaps we could also boost up our military wages. This would actually cost almost nothing. I'm going to do this. And then as far as the government wages go, I'm thinking that we'll sit on medium government wages. Having more authority up here would be fine, but this would be pretty expensive. So I'm just going to sit here for right now. Now, what that should do for us is that should build us quite a lot of additional bureaucracy, because that will increase the wages and make it more attractive for some of those locations that don't currently have very many workers in them. So, like here in Venice, right? If we check in the situation in Venice, I'm assuming that the aristocrats were satisfied with their current employment. We gotta pay them more. That's what that means. So that seems fine for right now. And we'll see if we're able to actually hire any. We got one. Okay. We got one employee. Woohoo! We're moving. We got 2 this week. So we're definitely making a little bit of progress there. That's okay. We've cracked 10 million, and that's definitely going to cost us a little bit of money, but for the time being, it's okay. Our prestige is going to not be tanked anymore, so our prestige is going to be coming up nicely. That's a good sign. How's our growth going? 0.7? I'd definitely like to get more work done on that. But let's get some more government administrations built. Algiers is low taxation capacity, so if anything is below 15 taxation capacity right now, I'm going to build in it. Then, outside of that, we probably are interested in building in... Campania is honestly pretty decent, except for the small fact that they've got turmoil and they're unincorporated. So instead, we could build in Syria, and that would be a much better place. I'm going to build 4 in Syria. That will be expensive, and we're not going to build them all at once. The artillery foundry is going to be first, and then we're going to intersperse these railways in here. And yes, I do know that these are going to be expensive. We're going to need them eventually, but there's a reason they're at the bottom right now. So let's get this moved up to here, and then to here. We need to move up another railway. And that goes here, then here, and there, like that. Okay, so that seems good. We're up to 10.5 million GDP at this point. Delightful. So we're down to 4.38K in interest. Now, we are up over 20K, even with that increase, and it was a significant increase in our government wages. So that's great. Very, very good to see that. We're not quite ready to get our construction going again. That will be soon. 2.19K of unrealized taxes. Is this just due to turmoil? So the majority of that's in Campania, which is right up over here. I'm assuming that this is due to turmoil, right? Yeah, definitely. This is 1,000% due to turmoil. So our turmoil here is due to radical pops. We would love to get our radicalism down. Incorporation will definitely help it. We've also got a starving populace up here, apparently. So that's exciting. Why are they starving? Their standard of living for the poor class is quite low in Campania. We've got a furniture manufactory, that's full. Paper mill, a tooling workshop, a shipyard. All of those are full. Fishing wharves, logging camps. And then we've got a cotton plantation that's not full. And a wheat farm that is full. University, our government administrations, and then there's this port. I feel like we just need jobs here. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what we need. We could produce a lot of wood and fish. Construction efficiency is so low, though, that I don't really want to build there right now. I mean, surely they would migrate to other locations within our nation that have jobs available, right? We definitely have jobs available in some places. For sure. But, okay, that's fine for now. So, 1.19 million is our current credit. We're making 21.2k at this juncture. That's looking good. Privatized trade center? Yes, please. Let's see if that happens. Hang on, something's going on here. Also, this did not happen, but what is this? There's a diplomatic play in Anatolia here, the Armenian Radical Revolt. I mean, we don't really care about this. Except that Armenia is our protector. So, we do need to do something about it. So to that end, I'm going to mobilize our army, and we're going to deploy this out to this front. It's going to be a little awkward to get them there, but, I mean, we are paying them wages, so that's something. And let's just make our way on out. I don't think we need any help here. I'm hoping that nobody's going to side on the side of the revolutionaries. No, nobody's leaning that way. I don't think anyone will. So that looks good. We have 2% attrition up over here. This is due to giving a different order or returning them from the front. Okay, well, they've arrived at the front here, and now they're just at low organization. So it was just a travel thing. Sure. Their organization is dropping. Why is their organization going down? That's interesting. Where do we see their actual organization at here? It is here. Supply shortage. I guess because this is landlocked? Interesting. I think it's because it's landlocked. Okay, well, I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal anyway. I don't know that they even have any troops. Oh, they have 1 unit. This shouldn't be a big deal. They also have 0 organization, so I think it's fine. I strongly suspect that that is fine. So at this point, our debt is under 1 million. That is a very big deal. No doubt about it. Business of legislation, huh? +5 legitimacy. Would that get us anything? That would take us out of unacceptable government. Done. So that puts us up into contested. Now, the Rabbinical Council is currently here, and we could kick them out. And replace them with who? The Intelligentsia? Not really. The Armed Forces? Petite Bourgeoisie? I don't know. I think we're fine, basically, where we're at. Now, we're currently a monarchy. We could head over to a theocracy, but I'll pass on that one. Actually, will I? I mean, nobody likes it. The odds of actually getting this through are very low. I don't think we'll do this right now, but a theocracy is actually an interesting option for this particular playthrough. I'll have to think about that. I'd love to go down to public schools. There's no way to do it as of right now. There's just not many law changes that we can do at this time, so that's fine. Everybody's going to declare neutrality on this, and that's absolutely expected. Not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up very quickly, even with 0% organization. And the Armenian army honestly could have had this on their own. So that's absolutely fine. We're up to 10.3 million on our GDP, and we are absolutely going to crush these guys. In theory. Yeah, there's a battle going on. I want to look at the actual battle. Oh, they capitulated. Okay, never mind. It's over. So that is fine. We knew that that was going to happen. So they're going to be taking attrition on their way back, of course, but it's absolutely fine. I'm assuming that these guys are not mobilized. Yeah, they're just on their way. So that looks okay for now, and our bureaucracy is negative, as is our convoys. Now, I'm going to come out here to Campania, and I'm going to subsidize this port. I want to get some people working here. So there we go. That will get some jobs created in Campania. And we're 136 convoys now. The convoys were needed for our troops, and they're not a thing anymore. So we don't actually need them. But I'm still going to subsidize up over here in Campania. So that looks good. 757,000. Okay. 1.1k is subsidies. That's fairly significant, but it's okay for now. So up over this direction, taking a look at this port, we could actually drop the subsidies here, but I'm going to drop it instead here. There we go. So that should be relatively fine. We're going to essentially move where these jobs are located. We're going to have them be up here in Campania. That'll be fine. So we're up to 22.9k on our income now. That's even with increasing our government expenses by, how much is this? 2.5k. So we'd be at 25.8k right now. And we're still paying 2k in interest. So that's looking very solid, actually. Financially, things are definitely looking good for us. We are on high taxes, to be sure. We could drop our taxes, but I don't think we're quite at the point where we want to do that yet. We will get there, but we're not quite at that point yet. So for now, we still need to be making as much money as we can. We can boost our taxes if we really, really wanted to, but yeah, we absolutely need to have some of this change. That's for sure. These numbers have been relatively flat, though, so that's a good sign. 455k now. Beautiful. So we're going to have this all paid off in just a few weeks. At which point, I do plan on starting up construction again. And it will be something along the lines of this. Our investment pool has been pretty regularly building too, and that's very good for us. We are absolutely happy to see that. 385. Very, very close now. So yeah, we're going to be out of debt very soon. And our GDP is just slowly creeping up right now. It's going to start absolutely exploding very soon. We're about to break this open. And that's fantastic. We are, of course, delighted by that. At this point, we are about 5 weeks away from getting our debt completely paid off. So that is absolutely huge. They're really interested in expanding a lot of tooling workshops. That's noted. 2 more weeks at this point, and our debt is gone. 1 more week. Fantastic. And the debt is gone now. Now the question is, if we start building, how is this going to do in terms of our balance? Let's find out. So our first week is free, and then it updates. Minus 5.37. Now, this is with 2 private constructions. I want to be clear about that. And one of these private constructions just completed. So each private construction is worth about 5K then. That's noted. Minus 19K. Let's see how this balances out. Because we're going to need to shuffle around wood and iron production and tool production. It's going to be a thing. So let's give it a moment. Minus 9.16. That is with this here. So about minus 10K. That's pretty doable. It's not quite to the point where we're positive while building, but it's really close. I like it. That is absolutely phenomenal. So we do see these tooling workshops being built. I'm curious about the current price of tools with our construction ongoing. So let's check in here. In Palestine, it's at minus 11. I don't feel like expanding tooling workshops is actually great at this time. I would rather that they be expanding raw resource production, actually. What are they working on next? Opium? I mean, that's fine. That would be absolutely okay, but it's in Middle Egypt, which I think is down over here, right? Yeah, that's in Al Said, and not ideal. Empty pockets, huh? 2% of pops becoming more loyalist. Yes, please. So we will absolutely take that. Untrained hands. Dependent income. We'll keep children off the factory floor. We eventually want to get them into schools. But for right now, we can't really do that. So for the moment, we're definitely running a deficit. And we currently only have 1 private construction ongoing. The second private construction will start up pretty soon here. So this railway in Deir ez-Zor is 11 weeks out, and yeah, there goes that construction. So that looks good. A logging camp in Israeli Croatia. That's more like what I want to see. That looks good. But we really want to get this artillery foundry completed so that this is no longer a thing. And honestly, I'm going to bring this back to here. There we go. We don't have much demand for artillery. So let's get that gotten rid of, and that'll let the price of artillery come up a bit and make it a little bit more attractive to get started on artillery production, but we really don't need much of it. This singular building will keep us going for a long time. So that sounds good on that front. What else are we running into issues with? Paper and wood. So paper, that is an interesting thing here. The price of coal. Okay. We could definitely think about developing some coal mines. This coal mine in Lebanon, not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and get that queued. And is this position okay? Actually, kind of, yeah. I think this position is fine. So we'll build a coal mine in Lebanon, and we'll address that. So that seems good. We also have a bit of high-priced wood in the Israeli market, and I would love to get that fixed. I would love to get that fixed. The real question is, how long do we want to build on this deficit? I want to build for a while. I'd love to have the deficit just straight up go away. We could raise taxes for that, but then we'd run into some pretty serious standard of living issues. We already have awkward standing of living issues. And we'd probably run into some significant radicalism. So for the moment, I think we'll hold off on that. Okay, so our artillery foundry is going to be done now, but that's not going to be a huge economic benefit for us. I just want to have a domestic source of artillery for if we get into a big war. But for right now, that'll do for the moment. The coal mine in Lebanon is about 8 weeks away, so that is looking very good. We also are working our way slowly through some of these railways. I am noticing that... yeah, these are all still rough. Okay. I do want to get these government administrations done. and we're not really working on them right now. So let's get this coal mine completed. That's going to be done in 5 weeks, and then we can start hammering out these government administrations. That's really the goal here. I do want to be working on these railways, and that'll take time. As that happens, our GDP is really, really going to start to go up by a lot, and that's good. So at this point, you can see 11.3 million. We're at the highest we've ever been. We're at number 11 in the world right now, and we definitely like to bring that up. We got to pump up those numbers, that's for sure. There's that coal mine finished, and that will definitely help our price of coal. 8.52. Okay, because we were only working on one construction for a moment there. 7.95. That's really not bad. This is not a terrible deficit. Where's this railway? That's in Palestine? Okay, doesn't matter. If this was one of these railways out here, that would be delightful, but it is not. So, unfortunate, but it doesn't really change anything for us. Tobacco plantations in Baghdad, huh? Okay. Well, we're currently working on these railways. We did finish up this government administration that was here. So that seems fine, and we'll just continue to hammer through this for a little bit. I think it's okay. Getting the railways semi-prioritized, I think, is pretty decent. So that sounds good to me. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more wood production, though. I gotta be honest. So if we did this in Palestine, that would actually be pretty decent. And then we just place that right there. Yeah, something like that. And then what we would need to do is incorporate a state if we've got one that is cheap enough. We might not anymore. Okay, logistics has been unlocked. Sure, I don't care. That's fine. But what else do we have up here? Yeah, these are all too expensive. So for the moment, we're going to have to chill on more state incorporations. At least until this government administration finishes. Once this one is done, then we can start working on more. But all things considered, things are looking pretty good for us at this point. Things are definitely looking up. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on broadening the base of our economy a little bit. But more specifically, we need to get some infrastructure made. That's what really needs to happen right now. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.